This is Wen Boucher, the founder of Bliss Finance and the author of The Cash Formula. I help entrepreneurs and consumers to improve their finances based on my 25 years of banking experience. In the first video, we talk about in order for you to transform your finances, you had to reset your mind. We talk about what are some of the root cause of causing you where you are today financially. What are the influences? What was the lack of the knowledge or the knowledge that was embedded in you that caused you to be where you are today? We talk about the cost of experiences or the lack of because of the financial challenges that you're experiencing. We talk about how the physical well-being has affected you and all the cost because of you did not know. Also, we talk about your internal dialogue. What exactly you need to do to control that to the point that it's no longer on this auto dial into the negativity or pessimistic or wrong thinking about finances. We also talk about what exactly you need to control the external influences like a social media to the point that you actually living under your soul, believing what you need instead of just focusing on what John Doe is thinking about you. So today, this is the second step. In order for you to transform your finances, we have to make sure that we reset our tactics. So what are the tactics that we have to reset? Well, first, you have to think about everything as project-based. If you are going to tackle anything about financials objective, you gotta map it out. You gotta look at this as a project, but you cannot just focus on a single element. A lot of folks out there say just pigeonhole on one area. Once you're done, go to the next one, focus on the next one, and start over again and continue on. My thought process is, do you realize by focusing on that specific task, you're neglecting everything else on the side? In finances, you have to take a look at the overall picture. You have to know the cost of the interest, payment, if you don't tackle that holistically. That's the reason why it is very important for you to map out everything that you need to control over. You need to know exactly where you want to go. What exactly do you need to be able to get to the next level? But you have to understand the financial stage of life that you're in. If you're actually college kids, your financial goal is going to be a little bit different than someone actually retiring. Or you just got married and you're actually expecting a baby. Your finances or your financial situation is going to be a little bit different because your needs are going to be a little bit different than someone who's actually in the late 50s and looking forward for becoming empty nesters or looking forward for a different area of their life. So map it out. But how do you map it out? You have to make sure that you have everything on the calendar. Now, very often that we start the new year, we say, oh my gosh, we're going to lose weight, we're going to pay off this debt. And by the middle of 3 months, nothing changed. And that's the reason why when you are going to have a tactics this time around, you're going to look at it as a project base. You're going to take a look at what you need to achieve and you're going to map it out. You're also going to take into account and break this big chunk into small pieces. For example, if you're thinking that I need to save $100 a month and what I need is $1,200 by the end of the year, so what you need to do is you need to go ahead and break that down every single month. What exactly do you need to save every single month? Okay, it's going to be $100. Now, every single month, you're going to break that down to every week. So how much is that every week that you need to have? $25 a week. So every Sunday, you got to make sure you have $25. But also, let's break that down to 5 days. So every single day, you got to save $5. So you have to keep yourself accountable every single day and put it on the calendar. By the end of 5 o'clock, for example, you got to ask yourself, did I actually save that extra $5? If you didn't, hold yourself accountable. So the next day, you know you need to save $10 because you did not save the previous day. So by having this accountability, this is one surest way for you to achieve any financial goals in life is by able to calendar it. The second thing to reset your tactics is you have to prepare. You have to prepare for the rules. What do I mean by the rules? If you're thinking about meeting a lender to take your finances, to refinance, to get a mortgage, whatever you need to do, you have to understand what are some of the games that the lenders are looking for. When I say games, I'm not just talking about rules. Now, every lender has a special underwriting guidelines. You need to know what is the minimum qualification for credit that before they even consider for your application. What exactly is the debt to income ratio? Debt to income ratio is where they take a look at all your, pretty much the debt, rent or mortgage, plus installment loan, plus revolving debt, and that's per month, divided by gross monthly income. Is this lender actually allow you to have up to 50%? Or is this lender only give you 40%? Every lender is different. It is up to you to do the homework to find the right lender for you. Now, if you don't know where you are in terms of credit, it is highly recommended that you pull your credit from annualcreditreport.com. Now, you can actually allow to have this once a year. You'll be able to pull 3 credit bureaus, and this is all free. Federal Trade Commission highly recommend that, and I highly recommend it too, because from this, you are able to pull the reports, but you also need to see exactly what some of the discrepancies. Any discrepancies you can actually fix on your own without paying anyone. Now, I'm a believer that you gotta take control of your finances. You gotta make sure that you know what's on the credit report, what exactly is wrong, fix it. You are your own financial boss. So understanding the rule and what exactly the game they need to play. Also, you have to make sure that you prepare your profile. Throughout the years, I have helped clients that they're getting ready for a loan, they're getting for debt consolidation, so forth, but they're never prepared. They don't have all the financials ready. You ask for this, they're like, oh, I don't have my tax return prepared. Well then, if you don't help yourself, we can't help you. So that's one thing that you really need to do your homework. Understand, where do you stand? If you really have a credit score that's not up to par, that you really want to get to a certain position before you apply for the mortgage, then start cleaning that up. Start going ahead and make on-time payment for anything going forward, and come back 3 months down the road and start applying. Because anything about lending is all about timing. But you gotta do your homework first. You gotta prepare. Some of those customers that I have seen, those are entrepreneurs. They're trying to get business loan, or they're trying to get personal loan, but they don't have all the financial ready, or they don't pay themselves. They take a draw, they withdraw money from the bank account and thinking that's going to be suffice. No. In the lender's eye, there's a specific thing that we're looking for in order for us to qualify you. So know exactly, understand the games, understand what the rules are. That way, your chances of getting improved is going to be increased significantly. Last but not least, in order for you to reset your tactics to improve your finances, you have to kind of sort of pitch to your family. This is especially true if you actually share household expenses. If you actually live with a spouse and you actually have the same responsibility, well, my recommendation is you don't compromise, you negotiate. So what does that mean is you have a joint account, but you control this household expenses account, for example, and your spouse controls taxes or whatever that is. So have a different responsibility, but yet you both have the same accountability toward the entire house. By having the right pitch, the right budgeting style, the right tactic, you're going to see you're able to transform your finances to the next level. And that is the key. You also need to make sure that you pitch your family member the right way. What I mean by that is there are a lot of resources out there you can actually leverage your family member's money to get what you needed. So the way you need to understand that, I'm going to use an example. Let's say, for example, you need $5,000. Your uncle has that $5,000 just sitting in the account not doing anything. Instead for him to give it to you $5,000 and you pay that off, you can actually make an arrangement with him and say, Uncle, I'm going to ask you to park that money in the bank where you belong. I'm going to have a loan against that, and the loan is going to be under my name. The only way that you're going to lose that $5,000 is if I don't make that payment. So the uncle can be pretty much assured that you are not going to screw it, or maybe you do, then the uncle is not going to lend you the money. But this is one of the strategies called leveraging, is using what we call the assignments of proceeds to get what you needed it. But that's where you got to have the right pitch, but you got to know the right rules in order for you to get what you needed it. So everything kind of falls together in terms of how to really massage your finances to the point where you needed it, but you also need to leverage other lenders whenever it's possible. So by understanding the right pitch to the lender, that takes into account of, is this the right lender for you? I teach a workshop where the title of my workshop is called The Loan Dating Game, where I really look at the lender, especially a business lender, as you're dating that lender. Now, we're not really dating the lender. All we're saying is, before you go on a date, what are you looking for? You're really looking for the right match. So if I actually own a restaurant and that lender doesn't really like restaurant, it doesn't have appetite for, or it's not their specialty, do you think there's going to be a match? No, there's not going to be the match. But do you know there are other lenders out there that specialize in restaurant loans? So that is something that you have to understand, the right pitch, right match, and it goes both ways. And that is one of the tactics that people are not doing. They will go to the bank that they've been banking for years and years and years, and when the loan gets turned down, they get very frustrated. They don't understand why that my bank does not help me. There are lenders out there that are more than welcome to really help you. There are resources out there. There are other money out there that can help you if you know the right tactics. So I hope that you understand, in order for you to transform your finances, you really have to take into account of where you are. You have to know what exactly you're trying to achieve, have a project mindset. Understand everything needs to be holistically, not just one single item to tackle your finances. You got a calendar. If it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. You had to prepare. You had to know what the games are. What are the finance rules of this institution versus that institution? You have to make sure that your profile, your financial status is up to par. If you have a crappy credit, it is okay. Things happen. I understand. There are lenders out there actually going to lend you money that's less than 600, and I'm not talking about cash advances. I'm not talking about predatory lenders. I'm talking about credit unions out there that they will be able to help you, even though you have a less than stellar credit. But you got to know the right match, the right lender. But also understanding budgeting is going to be one of the key factors for you to take to the next level. So I hope the session served you. The next sections, we're going to be talking about what exactly you need to take your finance to the next level, and that is going to be able to reset your health. Until I see you next time, stay unique, be alive, and make an impact.